It's not the food, it's the fuck it mindset that'll get you. So I want to talk to you about mindset around food when it comes to the weekend, because I bet that if you're anything like I used to be, you're stuck in a trap of being quote unquote good all week, and then it comes to the weekend and the wheels fall off. So this weekend, I want to share a little personal story. I'm heading to the Tatton Park Food Festival. I've got a fancy meal out booked on the Saturday night. I've got 2 hotel breakfasts over the weekend. And you know what? I'm not worried. But that was definitely not always the case. So if we can still trigger that effort mode for you, then I want to talk to you about how you can move from guilt and chaos to calm and control with zero restriction, right? So let me take you back a little bit. So my personal pattern with this is what my weekends would look like. I would be pushing and pushing and pushing. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By Thursday, my energy would be low, my mood would be low, I'd be really, really hungry, and I'd just be thinking like, oh my God, I can't do it. And then something would happen at work, a stressful moment, and I'd just like stuff a load of biscuits in, or cakes, or those big Marks and Spencer's cookies, like 350 calories, whatever was around. And then I'd be like, oh my God, I've ruined it. I have completely ruined it. So then I'd be like, well, I might as well just pick up some wine on the way home. Maybe I'm not even going to cook. I'm going to get a takeaway. And this cycle would repeat all through Friday, all through Saturday, all through Sunday, until Sunday night, when it would be like, no, right, this is it. Next week, that's not happening to me. I'm making a different plan. I'm pushing, I'm going harder. I'm going to do more. And start again Monday. And you know what happens here, right? We all know that cycle is exactly the cycle that keeps us stuck. And plus that, I would also be feeling racked with guilt. I'd be so bloated, my digestive system would be absolutely destroyed. Gut health was not in my vocabulary at that time. And then I'd be thinking maybe I should do a detox juice diet. I don't know if anybody's ever taken that detox tea. It's a massive laxative. It's definitely not good if you work in an office. It processes the contraceptive pill faster through your system, just the same as if you had any kind of vomiting or diarrhea bug. It is not good for us, right? And this I just really want to paint that picture of that emotional roller coaster. And if you are on this, then this video is exactly what you need to hear. So what is happening in this moment is the all or nothing mindset. And what you're currently thinking is, if I can't do it perfectly, I may as well not do it at all, right? But what I want to talk to you about, the all or nothing mindset, is you're so much more in the nothing than you ever are in the all with this, because you might have 3 or 4 what you would class good days, overly restrictive, tiny meals, not enough food, way too much cardio. But then those other 3 days of the week when you're off plan are going crazy, right? There's no holds barred, you're just going for it. And so that whole start again Monday mindset turns into that 3-day binge, right? And that is definitely not what I want for you. And I know it's not what you want for yourself either. So what can you do differently? Well, the number one thing is to plan. If I could only tell you one thing, it would be to plan. First of all, it would be to track, to see what's going on. And I don't necessarily mean MyFitnessPal. I mean, get a handle on your data. How much water are you drinking? How many hours are you sleeping? What time are you going to bed? What time are you waking up? What habits serve you? What habits need to go? What are you eating? Are you getting enough protein? Just write everything down for 7 days and try your very hardest not to judge yourself, right? Because you need to do this in order to create this real review. So once you do that and you can see what things are looking like, then you can start to decide, okay, what is going to come forward with me? What's good? What's positive? What do I need to continue with? And actually, what do I need in the past? And I have a brilliant exercise for this. And it's all about identifying your ideal future self. Who is she? What does she do? How does she eat? How does she sleep? Because the fastest way to become her is to start acting like her now, right? So that's part of my Your Perfect program. If you're interested, drop me a message, but that's not what we're here for now. I want to keep going with this, right? So what you need to do in order to have a weekend that doesn't feel like a complete effort moment is plan. So decide in advance. So for me personally, for this weekend coming up, at the food festival, I know there's going to be all the people there that have all the samples of cheese and fudge that I have tasted a million times that could easily add up to 300, 400, 500 calories in just little bites of things. And just because they're free, I don't need them. So what I'm going to do is survey the whole place. and I'm going to find something that I think, oh my gosh, that looks and smells amazing. It's not what I'd normally have. It's an opportunity to try something new. And I'm going to order one thing and I'm going to savor and enjoy every single bite until I am satisfied, not stuffed, right? We never need to clear our plates. We never need to eat everything there just because someone has dictated this is the portion. I know a lot of the time at these kind of events, the portion sizes can be massive. So I'm going to check in with my hunger and fullness as I'm eating and eat for satisfaction by staying connected to your body, by staying connected to your hunger and fullness, and by giving yourself permission to enjoy. Is the absolute number one way to stay aligned with your goals and to come through the weekend feeling good, like you've made intentional choices, not those old effort moments, right? So I really want you to think about, what is going to truly treat you? What would be a true treat, right? Not something that's going to make you feel guilty afterwards, right? So if you go and you think, do you know what, like 2 fingers up to the diet, I'm going to eat the huge big ice cream sundae and then you're going to feel bad afterwards. That's not what we want, right? But it's okay to say, I am going to eat this and I accept this means the scales will go up. I won't make any weight loss progress this week. I'm going to be way over on my calories. I'm going to cancel out my calorie deficit, but I'm not going to feel any guilt and shame about it because it's a conscious choice. And this all comes down to asking yourself, what is worth it to you? Because if you're working on fat loss right now and you continue to make high calorie choices and then feel guilt and shame about them, then I really would remind you and beg of you to assess your goals and to assess what's important to you, because it might be actually that fat loss is not that important to you, and if that's the case, that is okay, right? But the last thing I want for you is to be stuck in this perpetual cycle of diet all week, off the rails all weekend, feel guilt and shame, destroy your gut health, destroy your confidence in yourself, when it could be so much easier. So when you're thinking about a weekend, like for me at the food festival, I am going to go and enjoy something that I really want and I'm not going to eat for the sake of it. And then when I go for my hotel breakfast, I'm going to go high protein, low carb, because for me that really works. I know that will give me a really filling breakfast that will last until at least mid-afternoon. I won't need to stop and get any lunch, which means I can maximize my time with my friend. And I'm also going to stay tuned into my hunger and fullness. But just because it's a buffet and there's unlimited food, it doesn't mean I need to eat everything that's there. I'm going to tell myself, this is not going to be the last hotel I'm going to stay in. I'm going to stay in many more hotels. So actually it's not worth it to me to go all in and eat the pastries and the pancakes and the full breakfast and all that stuff and be really, really stuffed, because right now, for me, fat loss is my priority. And then when I go out to eat on Saturday night, I'm going to be feeling good in my outfit because I'm not going to be feeling bloated from choices earlier in the day. And I'm going to just really order one thing that I really want. Like, I'm not going to bother with starters or desserts. I'm going to choose the main course that really appeals and speaks to me and says, Angela, you are going to really enjoy this. And I would absolutely encourage you to do the same, right? So we need to keep this plan flexible. Obviously, things change, but the main thing is staying connected to your hunger and fullness, asking yourself, do I actually need that? And if the answer is yes, I need it, great. If the answer is I don't really need it, but I really want it, ask yourself, could I ever have this again? So let's say you're out shopping at the weekend and you stop at Costa and you get a coffee because you need a little break, right? Do you need a 500 calorie piece of carrot cake, or will you ever get to go to Costa and have that again? Yes, you probably will. But now let's take an example. Let's say you've gone to Milan for the weekend and you're walking past the most incredible gelato that you've ever seen in your life. Is that worth it when you're not hungry? Well, unless you're going back to Milan anytime soon, then yes, it is. And again, this all comes from that place of permission to enjoy food, but with a plan so you can make it work for your weight loss goals. When I work on this with clients, it's the number one way that they get success the fastest. If you're looking for a cheat code, this is it. Making a plan, because you do not need to avoid weekends, right? You do not need to say no to events. You do not need to worry about how can you lose weight when you're going to weddings and socials and birthdays and all of those lovely things that you should absolutely enjoy. But you need a plan that supports how you feel. So I'm going to leave you with 2 questions, and I've popped these in the comments below as well. And while you're there, remember to hit subscribe and share this with your friends. But question number 1, where are you still using weekends as an excuse to disconnect from your goals, right? So that's a really important one to think about. And at first you might say, well, I'm not doing that. But I would ask you to ask yourself the question, how do I feel before I eat? And is it worth it? And see what comes up for you this weekend. And then also question number 2, what would it look like to plan for joy instead of planning to be quote unquote good? Because we all know when we say, I'm not going to have that, and I'm not going to have that, and I'm not going to have that, we end up feeling restricted and overwhelmed, and we end up eating all 3 of those things. Whereas if we'd planned in one of those things, we probably could have enjoyed it and moved on with our day. So I would love to hear the answers to those questions. You can post them in the comments below, or if you'd rather, you can email me. It's angela@nextlevelnutrition.me, or you can come and find me on Instagram at nextlevelnutritioncoach. Okay, I'll see you next time.